meeting is now being recorded.
Oops, sorry about that. And I'll be the moderator for today's presentation. Before we start, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. First, for a better viewing experience, we recommend using the webcast window in full screen mode. If you're having any technical issues, please let us know in the chat screen so we can provide assistance. This webcast will be approximately 30 minutes in length, including the Amazon presentation, followed by the Q&A session, during which the presenter will cover questions that were submitted
All guests have been muted.
by participants in advance of the event. Finally, if you missed any portion of the presentation or would like to share it with a colleague, we'll email you a link to the on-demand version following the webcast. Now, let's get started. Amazon was among the first of the online retailers, launching its e-commerce site in July of 1995. The company is guided by 4 key principles. The first is customer obsession rather than competitor focus. The second is passion for invention. Third is a commitment to operational excellence. And the fourth is a focus on long-term thinking. Also known as the everything store, Amazon is famous for its wide and deep selections of an endless variety of products. Because of this, its vendor relationships are key to ensuring that the retailer has whatever its customers want, whenever they want it. For the vitamin, diet, and sports nutrition categories, Michael Shen and Vincent Cotty are the ones who develop and maintain those vendor relationships. Michael is a senior vendor manager for Amazon, working exclusively on the sports nutrition side of the business, and Vincent is a senior vendor manager for vitamins and dietary supplements. Together, they form the vendor management team for the nutrition and wellness category at Amazon. You'll be meeting with both of them during ECRM's event next week in Vegas. During today's presentation, Michael will give you an overview of Amazon's platform and vendor relationship philosophy. He'll then discuss how to achieve operational and marketing excellence on the Amazon platform. Finally, he'll provide you with some guidelines on how to best prepare for your upcoming meetings with Amazon next week. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Michael Shen. Michael, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for the applause. Welcome everyone to the presentation. I'm Michael Shen. I'm just going to be walking through some guidelines for success on Amazon. We can move to the next slide. Today we'll be covering a couple of things. First, a bit of an overview about Amazon's large and active audience. We'll then cover, primarily what Vincent and I will talk about in our meetings, which is selling direct to Amazon if you're not on the platform. And if you are on the platform or are looking to get on our platform, how you can succeed. And then a couple of tips and tricks for our one-on-one sessions because we do business a little bit differently, and then we'll follow everything up with a Q&A. As Joe alluded to, our main tenet is to start with the customer and work backwards. And so you'll hear a lot of that customer obsession come through our dialogue and conversation with you. We're really focused on how do we deliver that experience in terms of selection, pricing, and convenience. And that's really how we guide most of our decisions as opposed to pure financials or anything. If we can move to the next slide. Yep. So this is the famous Amazon flywheel. It's kind of the model for our success across the retail platform and on e-commerce. We spoke to generate kind of the momentum of the flywheel. We start with what's in the middle, right above the growth circle, which is selection. We focus on having the largest selection because we believe selection is what brings customers to the platform. Once they come to the platform and they get a great customer experience delivered by our team, we'll start to see a lot more traffic, and traffic will lead to direct vendors, other sellers being on the site. And if we can deliver operational excellence and find ways to optimize our supply chain and we have a lower cost structure as well. That leads to lower prices, which again leads to more traffic. And so this is kind of the path by which our flywheel spins, and we're able to deliver a great customer experience and make everyone happy. Next slide, please. Just a few numbers in terms of the size of Amazon as it currently stands.
Hello, and welcome to the meeting. The host has placed the meeting into a list.
We have 294 worldwide active customer accounts, 86 million U.S. monthly unique desktop visitors, and these days a lot more customers visiting via mobile as well. Right. A little bit of the demographics of Amazon. You see that we cover the largest portion of the age composition is 50 plus, but we also have equally strong composition in the 18 to 34 and 34 to 49 age bracket, and our customers skew toward those in urban areas and with income above 75K. So especially in the sports nutrition business or vitamins, we have products not only that are national brands and are lower price points, but also higher price point items too, just because our customers are used to seeing all different types of products and shopping on our site. Next page, please. And this is a slide I included just because it was really interesting for me to find out about this initially. I know some of you might find it interesting as well, but a vast amount of shoppers now start their product searches on Amazon.com as opposed to traditionally what we think of that the customer searches on, regular search engine, finds your product, and then clicks through the link. So we've really, from the basis of having the full selection, have a lot of customers who are looking to buy something, go to Amazon.com and search in our search bar, which is part of the power of really creating a successful platform. Next slide, please. Duplicate slide, if we could move on to the next slide. So now walking through some of the process of becoming an Amazon vendor. It's now a fairly simple process, actually. 3 major steps here. One, we have an alias where there's a dedicated offshore team that will take kind of queries into becoming a new vendor. The alias is listed here, but if you don't have time to copy it down, we can cover off in our meeting as well. You work with this team to set up your account. We have standard agreements, and ASINs, which are Amazon standardized identification numbers, are our internal way of tracking, our internal SKU. That whole process allows you to set up your full selection on Amazon. And once we have your ASIN set up, what we do is we submit POs to you, but we also look to you to use our self-service platforms to optimize your detail page content. And then, we'll submit POs to you as soon as possible. We do them fairly regularly on Mondays and Tuesdays, and our systems takes care of all of that, and then, we're off and running. Next page, please. And so, a lot of our advice around success on Amazon really focuses on the unsexy or less glamorous components of success, just because we believe if you have a really successful product, the traffic will be there because customers will be looking for it when they come to Amazon. What we need to make sure that we deliver is operational excellence, just because if they come to the page and the item's out of stock, it doesn't matter how much your Amazon retail merchandising or marketing or social media you're driving to the site. It doesn't result in a sale to you or a great customer experience. So operations are key to success on Amazon. It reinforce that whether you're a new vendor or someone who's been on the platform for a very long time. Vendor Central is our portal or dashboard for our vendors, and it provides a look into where you are, where you could be. And then I'll also explain some of the main terms that we use to define operational excellence. Two of the primary ones here are REP-OOS, which is replenishable out of stock, and LBV on price, which is lost buy box. So replenishable out of stock is just our internal kind of metric for saying what percentage of the time when a customer visits the page do they encounter the fact that you're out of stock, which is not great. And then lost buy box is when we have a cost structure that makes us economically unfeasible to price at a point that's competitive relative to some of the other third-party resellers on the site, which if you're having a direct relationship with us, we want that sale to go to you. And so that's something where we look at to see, hey, are we at the right cost structure for a certain item to make us competitive? Ensuring that your item is winning the buy box. If you land on an Amazon page and your item is in stock and it's also the most competitive price point, it's display something that we call winning the buy box, which means if you land on the Amazon detail page and you're looking at a product, the most competitive, fastest offer is going to be the one that shows up, and we want that offer to be yours. Once that's done, we also want to make sure that the customer has the right experience on the detail page. So that's what we mean by retail basics. To have clear titles, multiple product images, fact-based bullet points, and there are other ways to customize it that we can cover off on, including A+ content, which is multimedia or like images and videos that you can layer onto your page to kind of instruct the customer what's the difference between product A and product B, as well as line reviews. So reviews are a huge component to success on Amazon, and we're well trusted because our reviews are unbiased and they come from there's a culture really of reviewing on the site, and so some customers will even visit our pages just to check out the reviews because it's seen as a barometer for how good the product is. So Vine is a program that we offer to vendors to kind of kickstart that process. We have a team of customers who have been voted the most helpful on our site, and they provide unbiased reviews on products. So that's a program that's out there. And then once we have those two major components covered off, which actually as you ramp up on the site, will take up a substantial amount of your time, then we can get into the fun stuff, which is really how you accelerate your growth. We have listed some of the options that we've opened up. These are all self-service now, so it's really how much you want to do test and learn or dedicate a budget to these initiatives. The ones I've listed out here are coupons, Amazon marketing services, which I'll cover off in detail a little bit later, and self-service promotions. Next slide, please. So going back to operational excellence, this is a snapshot of what you'll see in Vendor Central. It'll tell you what your lead time is. This vendor isn't doing particularly well. Units confirmed is fairly low. Problem receive rate is higher than we expect. And so it'll highlight kind of what your opportunities for improvement are, as well as, show you kind of not only at a glance snapshot, but also some historical performance so you can see what the trends have been over time. Next slide, please. And then we also offer a way to upgrade to ARA, Amazon Retail Analytics Premium, which allows you to see a little bit more around customer behavior, geographical sales, category conversion, a lot of different things that you can unlock. The recommendation is, if you want to really look at this data and really dive in and parse it out initially, that's great. My personal recommendation would be, as you start to build, after you've built out all the operational excellence and detail pages and have reviews on the page, this is kind of later in the timeline in terms of looking into data. But if you're super curious into this, this is a service we offer as well. Next slide, please.
Hey, Michael, I just want to
Yeah.
jump in for 1 second. I want to make sure the slides are progressing so that everybody sees the correct one.
Yeah. I think we're on combined operational know-how.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, so this is a page of really what's considered a best-in-class A-plus detail page. It's got a clear, concise title. It's got a lot of customer reviews, actually up to, I believe, 1,400 on the newer version of this. It's got multiple high-resolution photos, so customers can see different views, nutrition facts, even a video, as you'll see at the end. It's got what we call fast-track messaging, which is very important. If your item is in stock and fulfills certain geographical kind of considerations, our site is unique because it promises a certain delivery point. So it says wanted tomorrow on June 21st, order within this time period, and you'll get it by then, which is very different from you'll get it within 3 to 5 days, et cetera. So that's a really important message for us to convey and really pushes up the conversion of certain pages. Here we also have consolidated variations. This is kind of best in class in this category just because we have different flavors, we have different count sizes, we have different like tubs versus counts sometimes. And so having it all consolidated on one page not only helps customers see the different options available to them, but also consolidates your views and puts everything in one place. So really it's the best experience we can offer to our customers. Follow that up with clear, concise bullet points, and then on the side I've listed, this is information that's below the page, but essentially you can build out something like this where you can compare across your product line, provide more information, a little bit more color into why this is the right choice for your customers. And then, as I promised earlier, we'd cover a little bit of self-service promotions and marketing that are available. Kind of the hallmarks of Amazon are it's really a platform where you can be as successful as you want to be in terms of applying, certain testing or applying testing and learning, applying a certain budget. And so here I've listed some of the options that are now available to you. Vendor power coupons is a good way to get promotions in front of customers. We have automated widgets around the site that really pick up on these promotions and say like best selling, sports nutrition coupons, and then it'll actually, once you set that coupon up, it'll flow throughout the site in terms of recommendations to our customers. Something that's really exciting these days is we have Amazon Marketing Services as a way for you to put search placements or to put product detail page campaigns up. So, for example, if you're going around Amazon and you search in my category protein powder, right, you'll see that above the search results there'll be a banner ad for a certain brand or a product, and that's right now in this Amazon Marketing Services platform where you can actually bid on certain keywords, and it's very similar to AdWords in that it's a pay-per-click model, but it allows you to take advantage of the fact that customers are searching for certain products when they come to Amazon. You can also have them on specific products. For example, if you want to list against the top ASIN or product in your category and you want an ad to show up on right below their buy box, right on that page, that's something that you're able to unlock with Amazon Marketing Services as well. And then finally, what's exciting is that now we've offered the ability for our vendors to take advantage of best deals and lightning deals, which are some of our more popular deal platforms on the site as well. And so you're going to be able to set up, what's the budget, or what are the ASINs involved, what's the funding. All of that will be at your fingertips through Vendor Central. And then I'll cover off quickly on some do's and don'ts for the one-on-one sessions. As I mentioned, we kind of do things a little bit differently, and so we want to make sure we get the most out of these sessions. Please ask ask us questions or voice concerns about selling to Amazon, we're here to really be as transparent as we can around our limitations or ways we can help you understand whether you might have some idea about Amazon that we can clarify and provide more color around. Please tell us if we don't have your full selection, because we would love to have it, and we're eager to work through any issues that might prevent us from getting there, whether it's setting up your catalog or otherwise. Have an understanding of your current operational metrics if you're a current vendor with us, because there will be something that we'll definitely ask about. And so it's great if we can understand whether there are certain obstacles in place of getting you to where you want to be. While our in-stock manager is on the road with us, it's something that if we can't answer your question, we can definitely relay back to them, and we can have a dialogue around the best solution possible. And ask us how you can grow faster, because we've been, even though a lot of the tools have moved into the vendor's hands, like we have experience working with many of them, and so we've seen a lot of different examples, and if there's something we can point to as a success case, we'll definitely bring it up in our conversation. A couple don'ts. One is spending the session explaining the brand history and unique features and benefits. We're Amazon, so we will definitely want your full selection, so there's really no need for you to clarify why you deserve to be on the platform or anything like that. We're just here to help you understand the benefits of the platform and try to get you to be in as successful of a position as you can be. And then the other thing that we can't disclose too much around is pricing strategy or third-party seller information. So that's just something else to keep in mind. But with that, I know I blew through a lot of material, so we can move on to the Q&A. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Michael. That was awesome. Great presentation, a lot of great information in there. I have a few questions that were submitted in advance. So I'm going to start off right at the top. And the first question is, if one of the sellers has a question related to the platform, who do they speak with? How do they get in touch with them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for daily requests, the quickest response is actually the dedicated teams behind Vendor Central. So we have this contact us ticketing service, and there are vendor managers like Vincent and I who will be able to help out in terms of escalations or major marketing events. But we do want to set expectations and let everybody know that we do manage hundreds of vendors because of our vast selection. And so, we will be happy to step in, but we probably can do so in a limited case. Most of the interactions will go through Vendor Central.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another one, and always a big one, is how big will my first purchase order be with Amazon?
Yeah, I think that's a question I hear about a lot. So the way the system works is after we set up your ASINs, we set up your products and they're assigned Amazon identification numbers or ASINs. Our systems will actually forecast demand and usually order 3 to 4 weeks of cover. If you don't notice that we order sufficiently, it's something you can definitely reach out to your vendor manager if you do see out of stocks. Otherwise, that's kind of how our system orders. Yeah.
Got it. I had a question myself. I wanted to follow up on one of the things you mentioned with the retail basics, as far as setting up a page and all that. What if I'm kind of new to the industry and new to this whole process, and I need help or advice? Do you guys have a service that provides that? Or?
In terms of the A+ detail page content?
Yeah, like how, the best practices for putting content on your page.
Yeah. I think the best practices for putting on content really is understanding what the customer is seeing on Amazon. So I would say prior to setting up those A+ detail page content, it's great practice to look around the sites, look at similar products, look at the top sellers, and see what they're doing. And really, that's instructive because that's they're top sellers for a reason. They're sending a lot of traffic, but also they're converting a lot of customers. And so understanding what that content looks like is really the best way to inform what your content should look like.
Okay, thanks. And how long does it take from the time that I start the process to the time when the products are actually in stock?
Yeah, usually it takes about 10 days to create, your account on Amazon. It takes maybe a week or two to set up the item, and then we generally cut POs the next Monday or the following Monday. So end to end, I'd say roughly takes 3 to 5 weeks from when you start the account initiation to when you can see your first POs.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple more related to the 8+ pages.
Okay.
One of them is, you mentioned a video in the 8+ pages. Is this available directly through the 8+ setup page? And then another question that's related to that was, is there a cost to add videos to the product pages?
Yeah, I believe there's a cost to adding videos. That the cost structure and the way you can upload the content is all covered off in Vendor Central. So that's really the best resource to go to in terms of how you can upload that content and what it'll be in terms of the cost.
Okay, and then if I have an existing item on Amazon that I would like to have removed, what's the best method in order to get that done?
Yeah, so I guess a few points of clarification. If you would want to have the item removed, it would have to be because there's some that we typically don't remove the ASIN unless there's a product safety or similar type of concern with the ASIN. So if you would like to remove your offer, that's something you can do through Contact Us. But in terms of removing an ASIN, I think there are very limited circumstances under which you can completely remove the product unless it's something that you feel could be damaging to the customer. And you're the manufacturer of the product. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, well, that's all the time that we have now for the Q&A. What we'll do, if any questions that were submitted were not yet answered, we will try and get you an answer via email following the webcast. If, as I mentioned before, if you or your colleagues missed any portion of the presentation, you could either go to the Content Gateway section of ECRM's website tomorrow, and we'll have the recorded post on that section. And we're also going to email you a link to the on-demand version of the presentation. So on behalf of ECRM and Amazon, I wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week in Vegas. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for calling Macro Life Naturals. How may I help you? Hello.